Greetings, true believers. My name is CT Leffler, and welcome to this episode of Pump and Motor Dialogue. On today's show, I've got Nikki Steward. Nikki is the HR manager here at the Pump and Motor Division, and we're going to be talking to her about what HR means to her, some of her accomplishments that she's made in the past, some future initiatives that she has for the division here coming up in the next few years, and a little bit about different organizations that she's involved with here at Parker as well. We have our Q&A section as always, and be on the lookout for numerous Prince references throughout this interview. With all that being said, let's jump right into this episode with me and Nikki here on Pump and Motor Dialogue. Great. Well, Nikki, I appreciate you coming on the show today. We'll just start off like we always do. Just tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Parker.
Okay. My name is Nikki Steward. I have been at Parker for 15 years, 16 years in July.
Okay.
Time flies when you have fun. I started actually in accounting at one of our Charlotte, North Carolina locations. Mm-hmm. And throughout the years, I progressed into human resources, right? Okay. So now I am currently the division human resources manager for the pump motor division.
Okay, very cool. So how long have you been in human resources, and what made you transition away from accounting?
Okay, so I've been in human resources for, 15... Of the 15 years with Parker, I would say 13 of them. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. So coming into accounting, it's the same thing every day. I don't want to offend anyone in accounting.
Oh, we just had Alan on the show. The previous episode. So we'll get to see both sides of this.
Okay. So it depends on your personality, right? Okay. So I have the personality where I'm very welcoming and I want to talk and I want to get up and move around and converse with people. And the best job ever is human resources, that I can go and talk to people and you pay me for this. Right? So there's nothing wrong with accounting. Just for my personality, it wasn't a good career fit. Mm-hmm. And so when I realized that human resources actually fed more of my personality and what I would want to be when I grow up, so Parker took a chance on someone who I do not have a human resources degree. Okay. I had no experience in human resources, but the fact that I was very determined, because I would go to the human resources manager at the time and say, hey, I really want to get in human resources. And at that time, they were just starting up the LDA rotation program, but they did not have something in human resources yet. And so when I left Parker for a while, I went to another Parker location called Dominic Hunter, and they moved the operations to Buffalo, New York. Mm-hmm. About a year after I started working there. So I left Parker for a year. Oh, wow. And that HR manager remembered that I wanted to come into human resources, and she had an HR rep role open, and she reached out to me. Okay. And that's how I got back.
Yeah, so you said it was a division in Charlotte.
Yep.
What division was it?
It was called SSD Drives. Mm-hmm. It was on South Charlotte on Westinghouse Boulevard. Mm-hmm. We produced AC/DC drives. Okay. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So I don't know if you remember this, but I actually met you like 10 years ago. Yeah. You and I did Lean Boot Camp together. Do you remember doing Lean Boot Camp?
I do remember Lean Boot Camp. In
Mooresville?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was at that facility for 5 years before I came here. And that Lean Boot Camp session was maybe 3 months after I started at Parker. So it was predominantly our division, new people that had just come in. Mm-hmm. But I remember you and another guy came up from SSD to do the training with us. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, small world.
Yeah. So that was very interesting. I remember when you were coming into PMD, I was like, I bet there's no way that she remembers me. Because there were like 10 of us in the room from PMD. Mm-hmm. And obviously I remember her because you were like the new people from outside division. I knew everybody else, but like you.
And it doesn't hurt that I'm 5'10", right?
Right. It doesn't hurt. And I think maybe one more time I met you, like we had a sales meeting at SSD because it was a bit bigger of a facility and you were helping facilitate that. Yeah. So you came in and out a few times, but that was much less impactful than like the week of lean boot camp that we
Right.
all did together.
Right.
Okay. So
Good.
yeah, I'm glad I finally got to tell you about
Look at how we come full circle.
that. That's right. Exactly. And now here we are.
Here we are.
All right. So you told me about your role here at Parker. Can you tell me a little bit more about, what you like to do outside of Parker?
Oh, so what people won't know about me is like one of my hidden pleasures. I am a trivia nut.
Okay.
Right? So, and I love crossword puzzles, and it's knowing me and my personality, you would never think that I would sit down and I would enjoy a crossword puzzle, but it is how I reboot myself, because I tell people all the time in human resources, I'm on all the time.
Right.
I'm talking to people all the time. That 45-minute drive home is the only peace I get, because when you go home, I go into my other job. I'm mom, I'm wife, I'm auntie, I'm mother, I'm daughter. So just something just for me. And I am an avid reader as well.
So what are you reading right now?
Right now, I just finished a series that I've reread, actually. It's a 14-book series called the Left Behind series.
The Left Behind series, okay.
So I've read it once before. I have all the books, and I am not a person who wants it on a Kindle.
That's fair.
I want to turn the page, right? So, and it is a book that follows the book of Revelations, but it puts it in real world terms, right? So, and I love it.
Okay.
It's like me reading it all over again.
Yeah, very good. Well, I mean, it's like when you watch a movie or listen to a song a few times, you're picking up new things as you go through. All right. So you've been at the Pump and Motor Division for how long?
Almost a year.
About a year.
Yeah, in May it'd be 1 year.
Been 1 year. Okay. So just give me like some general overview of what kind of things you've done in that past year, or maybe some things that you're working on to improve the division and I guess the human interactions.
Yeah. So just to show team members that being engaged with them, listening to what they want, because a lot of times all you need to do is listen and then make an adjustment after that. And I tell our staff members and our managers, please and thank you goes a long way. So we tell people all the time what they're doing wrong, but we fail to tell them what they're doing right, right? And a lot of times, don't put these things in the same sentence. You ran a great product this week. You beat rate, but everything after
It negates
that, but
everything
negates,
you said.
Right. Tell them the next day.
Right.
Don't tell them in that moment. Let them enjoy the win and celebrating the wins, right? Because to shift a culture in a location, it's not as hard as people think it is. Listening and reacting, closing that feedback loop. You ask me something, I get right back to you. You will be surprised how grateful people are just that you listened and you came back to them.
Yeah. Well, I think listening is a very underrated skill that a lot of people probably feel like they're good at, but everyone can certainly be better at.
Right.
Can you give me an example of something that you've learned here at PMD just by listening to someone?
Yeah. So when you're dealing with someone, and I'm going to talk about shop floor for a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
When you're dealing in a certain area in the shop floor, and we do Kaizens, and we go in and we do tech time studies, and we say that the math tells us that you should be having this amount of output in this moment. So just going down and listening to the operators and saying, Nikki, this cannot happen. They are telling us on paper that this is what we need to do. But just standing there and watching them do it and calling down our ops managers to say, watch them do this. What they don't see when they're looking at the calculations is where it really is the bottleneck. Where is the waste? Should we batch? Should we not batch? And the fact that I brought someone down to say, just watch them do it meant a lot.
Okay. So in your 15-year career, well, I guess you can include the accounting part as well, if you want to. What would you say has been your proudest accomplishment in your work?
At that SSD location down in Charlotte, we closed that facility.
Right.
So my proudest moment is when we were exiting team members out of the building, we did it with dignity and respect.
Okay.
Right? Because you know what's coming, they know what's coming.
Right.
Don't treat people like we don't know that they're not going to be employed. Right? So being honest as I can, right? Being transparent and to let them know that I'm here to ease us through it and to say at this step, this is what's happening. At the next step, this is what's going to happen. So to help someone, even when we're transitioning them to close the business, during that time and after, being a resource to them when they don't know how to contact Cobra. Even though you tell them in that moment, it's still hard and a lot to adjust in that moment.
Yeah.
So just being available, right?
Okay. No, it's a very difficult situation to go through. I mean, no one really wants to go through it. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure it meant a lot to all those folks that, you weren't just like, all right, well, there's the door. You know where it is.
Yeah.
You can leave. Telling them about Cobra, how to get their health insurance put together, potentially what things they can do next. I mean, I'm sure that was very helpful for them in a very stressful time.
Yeah, and I wasn't there when the facility actually closed. So I had moved on to another Parker location before it closed. But just being there to be an impact in that moment while I was there, right?
Yeah.
And to take phone calls from team members even after I had moved on to the Michigan location.
Right, yeah. Yeah. So which Michigan location were you in?
I actually went to PDN in Richland, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was there for 2 years.
Very cool. I was there in October, I think, recently-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were shooting a video up there. But yeah, that's very cool. It seems like if you're going to be within Motion Systems Group, you're probably going to end up somewhere in the Midwest.
You do the
unless
tour.
You're here. All right, so you've been all around Parker, and I know you're involved with at least a couple organizations up at like the Parker corporate level. Like I believe you're a part of the NIA network, maybe a few others. Can you just give me a little bit of a rundown of those different organizations and what they do and how you're a part of them?
So I'm very proud to be a part of the NIA network. I was on the original design team when it kicked off. So we have seen all of the growing pains to how to form a BRG. Right now, they have asked me to be the HR advisor for the BRG. So I am absolutely honored that they have asked me to do this because it means so much when you were one of the original cast, right? And now you're at an advisory level. And to watch this team grow. We still have a lot of growing to go. This BRG is not only looking at Black team members, right? We're looking at minority team members. And how do we attract them? How do we retain them? How do we go into the top 20 schools that Parker already have a footprint and find those minority team members there to bring them into Parker. So I'm excited about what the NIA network is going to do and the other BRGs that are following as well, because there's going to be some new ones coming out outside of the Peer W, which I was also a member as well. So that's going to be exciting.
What does BRG stand for?
So it's a business resource group.
Business resource group. Okay.
So Parker now has quite a few Peer W, NIA Network, Next, and there's going to be some more that will be announced shortly. So it is just getting people involved. You know, let's talk to people who look like you or may not look like you. And what does that look like within Parker Hannifin? You know, what does that look like within our diversity and inclusion, right? So we want to tap into all of the resources that we can. And how do we do that? How do we not only reach exempt employees, but how do we get down and reach the hourly team members too? So that's the journey that we're going on next. How do we dig deeper into Parker and pull out the amount of talent that could be, you know, quietly buried there that we just want to see it flourish.
Okay. Cool. So you mentioned that Parker has a lot of connections with various universities. I know a lot of them tend to be in the Midwest because that's where corporate is. Is the NIA network doing anything to pull in HBCUs? Because there's an awful lot of talent there, and there are quite a few good engineering schools within the HBCU network. So is that something they're reaching for?
Yeah, so that's something that we've spoken about, right? So getting into these organizations can be difficult if you don't have a contact. But because the NIA network, a lot of our team members are African American that may have attended HBCUs. Now we can network within to network out. Right? So those are things we're looking at. North Carolina A&T, we have quite a few NIA network team members who graduated from there, and we're actually going to go and visit.
Oh, good.
So we're excited about doing these things because Parker's name is not out there outside of the Midwest, right? So if you don't know someone who knows someone, you don't know that Parker exists. So let's get it out, you know, not just with HBCUs, what's going on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
So NIA Network have team members, you know, west to east. So how do we tap into all of our resources to make sure that we are attracting the right talent?
Okay. Very good. So it sounds like you've got a lot of big plans in your head, in mind.
In my head.
Can you share just a little bit? You don't have to, you know, divulge all your secrets, but just a little bit about some of your future plans for the division and maybe even what you'd like to see at the corporation.
Yeah, I'd like to see the division culturally wise, right? Be an employer of choice. You know, the Kings Mountain location as well as the Greenville location. Greenville has a huge impact in being an employer of choice there where they are because they're a tight niche community, right? We're in the greater Charlotte area.
Exactly.
I'd like to get on Parker's best or North Carolina's best employer, right? How do we get on that list? How do we have people seeking us out instead of us seeking people? Right. So again, it's a little easier to do at the Greenville, Tennessee location because of the tight knit community.
Yeah, I mean, Parker is one of the largest employees in Greenville, Tennessee. And then outside of Greenville, I mean, there's not a whole lot for 25 miles.
Yeah. So it's easier there. How do we do that here? How do we get people seeking us? Right. So when they see Parker Hannifin just posted a job on monster.com, I want to see the flood of candidates coming in, not trickling in, but I want to see them coming in. So how do we make this location an employer of choice?
Okay. That's very cool. I like the goals that you have, you know, getting on the North Carolina best places to work list. I mean, that's a great direction to be heading. And yeah, they just have a flood of too many applications to have to deal with would be great.
It'd be a good problem to have.
If you'd like to learn more about the Pump and Motor Division, visit our website at parker.com/PMD. There you can learn all about the products, industries, solutions, and more that we offer here at the Pump and Motor Division. Again, that's parker.com/PMD. Now let's get back to the show. So that's really the last question I could come up with for you here today. So I don't know, have you ever watched the show before or listened to the show?
I've listened. So I listened to Stephanie's episode that she did on the show.
Okay, so you know that the Q&A section is about to come up.
I do.
Okay. Well, the questions I asked her are different than the questions I'm about to ask.
And I didn't ask her what questions you asked because I wanted these questions to be authentically true.
Well, these are fresh and new. I think this is maybe the third or fourth episode I've used them. So
Okay.
I'm very excited. Answer as quickly as you want. You can think about the question if you want. If we need to discuss it a little bit because your answer was interesting or just strikes me, then we'll just kind of go from there.
Okay.
All right? Okay. So the first question is, what is the last song that you listened to?
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Yes.
Very nice.
Because I was arguing with Raymond, and he was like,
Okay.
what does Purple Rain mean? And I said, have you ever listened to Purple Rain? Like, it's a love story.
Right.
And I made him listen to it. Purple Rain.
But he'd listened to it before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But he needed someone to really break it down. So, like, you shouldn't have to explain Prince.
No. Prince is.
Yeah.
And that's it.
When you can just be a symbol, you're all right with me.
Right. What is your favorite Prince song?
Darling Nikki.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't even know why I asked that. I like Computer Blue myself. But good answer. I mean, and there's a whole movie based around Purple Rain.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Come on. Like,
Yeah.
pick it up, Raymond. All right. Next up, what was your favorite childhood TV show?
Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show. Very good. Not even a hesitation on that.
Nope. None at all.
Okay.
I even have my 15-year-old watching it now.
I mean, it's a good show.
It's a good show.
It
shows a great family
it's
nucleus.
timeless.
Right. You had mom and dad and kids, and
Right.
it was the American dream. And quite frankly, there wasn't a lot during that time, in my opinion.
No.
Shows showing African American people
Yeah.
on TV.
No, it
so
was-
I tuned in every week.
Yeah, it was groundbreaking.
And I followed that up with A Different World.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the spinoff, right? You got to keep it going. All right, this one's a bit of a thinker, so you can
Okay.
take your time if you want. If you received an elephant and you had to keep it, you couldn't get rid of it in any way, what would you do with it?
A live elephant.
Yes. It would be depressing otherwise.
And I had to keep it.
You have to keep it.
Do I have an infinite amount of money too?
Sure.
Okay. I would build some type of habitat for it and take it to St. Jude's Hospital. So the kids can look at it and
They can see
pet
an
it
elephant.
and they can see an elephant.
All right. No, that's a good answer. All right. Honesty time.
Okay.
What is the fastest you've ever driven?
107.
107. Man, you just like have these answers locked and loaded. All right. When? Why?
It was in a rental car. And it was a red Camaro.
Oh.
And it was convertible. And my husband and I were in Florida. And we were on a stretch of nothing road. And we opened it up.
So it wasn't a little red Corvette.
No. Oh, it was not.
This is
But
just-
that was a good one.
This is just going to be laden with Prince episode
It
references.
is.
Maybe we should turn these lights purple.
And it's raining today.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Those don't have to be blue. We can switch it. What is your favorite carnival food?
The Polish sausage dog with all the onion.
Oh, nice.
And then I get the French fries and spray that malt vinegar on it. My favorite.
See, I'm not a vinegar person. Like I can appreciate it, but that's not for me. But the Polish sausage dog.
Oh, yeah. And I always get a turkey leg to go.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know where they get those turkeys, but no, that's great. All right, dark milk or white chocolate?
White chocolate.
Oh, interesting.
I am allergic to chocolate. Whatever the
Oh.
cocoa is in chocolate,
Okay.
I'm allergic. So it's always white chocolate for
Okay,
me.
so I think it's the cacao that's in there, but the cocoa butter's fine and just white. Okay, hey, I'd never heard that before, but that's a great reason to like white chocolate.
Yeah.
All right, so you're traveling out on the road somewhere.
Okay.
You're in the hotel by yourself. What temperature are you setting the thermostat to?
67 degrees.
67. Nice. Is that what it is at your house as well?
No.
Compromise. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is it there?
72.
Wow.
Is that hot?
I mean, if you like 67, 72 seems high.
In the wintertime?
Yeah. At all, really. Is it 72 in the summertime too?
Yeah, I keep it at 72.
But you're good with that? Mm-hmm. But then why 67?
When I'm in a hotel?
Yeah.
Because I like to get in and get cozy. And I like to sleep when it's cold.
Yeah.
Well, correction.
Okay.
We have one of those, what do you call those things? The nest.
Uh-huh.
So in the day, it's 72. And then we drop it down to 68, 69 at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
But normally in the middle of the day, in the summertime, it runs about 72 all day.
Okay.
But we always drop it at night.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be
sleeping in
burning
72
up.
sounds.
Oh, you've been a sweat
Yeah,
bath.
sounds tough. You're just on top of the covers.
Yes.
Say a 4-letter word that starts with the letter B.
Bear.
How do you have these loaded up so quickly? Oh my gosh. All right. What is your favorite color and why?
Do you have to ask?
We already talked about it.
It's purple.
But why?
It's the color of royalty. And
True,
my
true.
favorite book is the color purple. Right? So I love the first movie that was done. I love the second movie that was done, but nothing beats Alice Walker's book.
Yeah, right. No, I understand that. I'm a big fan of purple too, to be honest. It
It was my wedding colors too.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a light purple or like the deep royal?
The deep royal.
Nice. All right, well, we may just title this the purple episode.
I think we should.
it seems to be where we're heading.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last question. If you could instantly become an expert in one skill, what would it be?
That's a good question. Body language. Reading body language.
Reading body language.
And not just the cues where, people say you look up to the left, you're lying. Not those type of things.
Yeah.
I would want to know other things like how people tick. What are some of the giveaways? Because professionally, people can say things, but their body doesn't lie.
Right.
Right? So you can tell someone and they're looking like, I'm very happy today.
Yeah.
Well, tell your face.
Yeah.
Right? Smile. I would like all of the nonverbal cues that they see at the FBI and people who are doing,
Right.
interviews and such. I pick up on those, and I'd like to be an expert in that.
Okay. Well, I imagine in your job, you're already pretty good at it. So you just want to be better
I want to be
than you
better
are
at
now.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would like that to be my superpower.
Okay. Well, I'm going to extend this question then.
Okay.
So what would you like to be an expert in that you are not already good at?
Let me think.
Just good at so many things,
Well, yes.
obviously.
I'm not good at fixing anything.
Okay.
So I am that person who has an idea and I'll go and purchase some things and I'll sit it in front of my husband and I'm like, make this look like what it does on the box. So I would love to be able to take things apart and put them back together.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm cheap and I really want to fix like my own toaster
Yeah.
and not go out and buy one. But I'm not very mechanically inclined.
Okay.
So
Okay. No, that's a good one. And the best way to get good at that is when the toaster breaks, just start tearing it apart and see what happens.
yeah, no.
Worst comes to worst, you might have to buy a toaster, but
Yeah.
just start turning screws.
I do have a toaster that I have my eye on.
Okay.
So maybe, hopefully mine will break sometime soon.
Well, in that case, then, might be time to tear open the old toaster.
Might be, but I can fix nothing.
Okay. That's a good one. I like that one. All right. Well, that's the Q&A. I appreciate you taking part in it. I feel like I learned a lot about you. The last question that I ask everyone before we sign off is, tell me one personal goal and one professional goal that you have for yourself right now.
Okay. Personal goal, before I leave this earth, I want to see and visit all 50 states.
Okay.
Okay.
How many do you have under your belt now?
We have done 14.
Let's get started then.
Yeah, because we have you get to that point where life gets so busy, right? And then kids come into play.
Kids.
So, no. So it's my husband and I, like we can knock out states in no time.
Yeah.
So, and we have plenty of time to do it. I like to think that I have a lot more years ahead of me than I do behind me. So I would like to visit all 50.
Okay.
Right? In some point. Professional goal, I just see myself I'll keep climbing, right? So wherever that may take me, I will say that Parker has been good to me and my family. The logical next step is, as we say, all roads lead to Cleveland. I can foresee me doing something there. What that is, I would like for it to obviously continue to be in human resources, but there are lots of different avenues that human resources can go into, right?
Yeah.
So I'm never stagnant. Right? I always know that there is more. And I tell people all the time, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan.
Right. So you want to stay flexible, but continue to grow as a person.
Yeah. I'm be okay with being uncomfortable. That's when you grow. Right? So I am never scared to be in the room where I don't really know what's going on. I take that as a personal challenge.
Okay.
Let me figure it out.
Yeah.
And I don't have to know it all, but I have to be dangerous in every functional area.
Okay. Even mechanical skills.
Even mechanical skills.
Right. Okay, well, that's all I've got for you. Is there anything else that you'd like to say or put out there to the podcast universe before we sign off?
Well, I just like to say this was really fun, right? So someone who likes to talk like I like to talk, I never really talk about myself, which is always typically uncomfortable for people to do.
Yeah.
So this was really fun, and I look forward to going back and listening to previous podcasts that you've done. And I just tell people that they'll enjoy it. Come on over to PMD and let's talk.
All right. That sounds great. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
Hope you have a wonderful day.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And there you have it, folks. My interview with Nikki here on what I'm referring to as the Purple episode. I really appreciate her coming on the show today, sharing with us her experiences and her plans and hopes for the future of the division. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to like and subscribe anywhere you can download podcasts and on our YouTube page at Product Parker and Support. If you enjoyed the show, would like to be on the show, or have an idea for the show, shoot us an email at pumpmotor@parker.com. That's pumpmotor@parker.com. And with all that being said, we'll sign off like we always do. My name is CT Leffler. This has been Pump and Motor Dialogue. And ladies and gentlemen, the revolution. Have a good one.